All right, welcome. Today, we're going to break down your body's incredible response to stress. We're going to do this as a rapid-fire review to get you totally dialed in and feeling confident for your upcoming exam.
I'm sure you know that pre-exam feeling, right? Well, let's actually use that feeling. Let's channel that mental stress into understanding something physical, the acute stress your body goes through during exercise. It's a perfect way to see these concepts in action.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll nail down the core problem, stress messing with your body's internal balance. Then, we'll meet the communication systems that are built to solve it. We'll put them head-to-head, see how they all work together during a run, and wrap up with the really cool part, how training makes the whole system work even better.
Okay, let's kick things off with stress versus homeostasis. Now, this idea is the absolute foundation for everything else we're going to cover, so you really want to get this.
Just think of homeostasis as your body's happy place, you know? It's that default setting. It's this carefully maintained internal peace, a stable temperature, a stable pH. It's the equilibrium your body is constantly fighting to protect.
So, the second you start running or pick up a weight, that physical effort is a stressor. And boom, it immediately challenges that peaceful internal environment and shoves your body right out of its comfy homeostatic zone. So the balance is disturbed. What happens now? Well, the body doesn't panic. It calls in its elite first responders, its communication and control systems to manage the crisis and get things back to normal. And here they are, our three major players. These are the regulatory systems that get the stress alert, coordinate the response, and their whole job is to bring everything back to that stable, homeostatic state. So let's meet them.
Okay, so now for the fun part. Let's put these systems head-to-head. And listen up, because this comparison, this is the absolute core of what you're going to need for your exam. So let's break it down.
Okay, first up, the nervous system. The easiest way to think about this one is like the body's high-speed internet. It's sending direct, targeted, instant messages. It is incredibly fast and super specific. Next up, we've got the endocrine system. Now, this is more like a global news broadcast. It pumps hormones into the bloodstream, and they travel all over the body, delivering messages to any organ that has the right receptor to listen. It's a bit slower, but its reach is massive. And rounding out our trio, the paracrine system. This one's like an old-school office memo passed between neighboring cubicles. It releases chemical signals that only talk to the cells in the immediate area. It's all about highly localized communication.
Okay, and this table, this is where it all comes together. Seriously, this is your money slide for the exam. You can see the trade-offs right here. The nervous system is the fastest but specific, while the endocrine system is slower but has that huge, widespread scope. If you're going to screenshot anything, make it this table right here.
All right, theory is one thing, but let's see how this stuff actually plays out in the real world, right? We're going to walk through exactly how these three systems coordinate during the first couple of minutes of a run. It's pretty cool.
And this is a key point. The source material says it perfectly. The nervous system is always the first to respond. Speed is its absolute superpower. Before anything else has a chance to react, the nervous system has already kicked off the response. So, a perfect example of this in action is the baroreceptor reflex. As soon as you start running, your blood pressure changes. Receptors in your arteries sense that change and fire off a signal straight to the brain. The brain processes it, and just as fast, a command comes right back from the brain out to your heart and blood vessels, telling them exactly how to adjust to get your blood pressure stable again. It's a perfect, rapid-fire negative feedback loop.
So, while the nervous system is doing its lightning-fast thing, the endocrine system's broadcast starts to kick in. The adrenal glands release epinephrine, what most of us just call adrenaline, into your blood. This hormone finds its way to the heart and basically supercharges it, cranking up both your heart rate and how hard it's pumping.
And at the very same time, down at the superlocal level, the paracrine system is sending out those office memos. Your working muscles are releasing a chemical called adenosine, which basically tells the tiny blood vessels right there to open up, flooding the muscle with all that oxygen-rich blood it's screaming for.
So what happens when you do this over and over again? When you train consistently? This is where we get to the amazing process of adaptation, and where we hit on a huge biological principle, the structure-function relationship, super important.
And this is the key. Your body is smart. It learns. It adapts. When you repeatedly expose it to the stress of exercise, those communication pathways, those feedback loops, they literally get better at their jobs. They become way more efficient at handling that stress.
And wow, this slide just perfectly shows what I'm talking about. Look at Avery.
In his first week, running a 14-minute mile has his heart just pounding at 170 beats per minute. But get this, after 12 weeks of training, he's doing the exact same run, same pace, and look, his heart rate's only at 150. His body has adapted.
I mean, that's a 20 beat per minute drop. That's a huge improvement in efficiency. His body doesn't have to work nearly as hard to do the same task. That is a direct, measurable result of those feedback loops getting better.
So here it is, the big takeaway for your exam, laid out plain and simple. A trained body is just less stressed by the same amount of work. Homeostasis isn't thrown off as much, so the body's response doesn't have to be so extreme. And that right there is the heart of the structure-function relationship. Remember that phrase. Repeated function, the exercise, changes the structure, which in turn improves how it functions next time.
And that kind of leaves us with one last big question to chew on. As you're studying all this, think about it. These incredible, powerful systems evolved to handle short-term physical stress, right? Like running from a predator. So how well equipped are they to handle the constant, chronic, mental stress of our lives today? You know, things like deadlines, traffic, and studying for big exams. Just some food for thought. Good luck.